Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to completely summarize Robert Greene's absolute monster of a book for you in this video, really unpacking those invisible, hidden drivers of human behavior. If you've ever been, completely baffled by why someone acts the way they do, or honestly, even why you do the things you do, well, this explainer is going to give you the exact framework to decode all of it. Because look, we've all faced this painful reality at some point. You think you completely know someone, right? You work with them for years, you consider them a real friend, and then, boom, out of nowhere, their whole vibe shifts. They get passive-aggressive, cold, maybe even outright toxic. It leaves you spinning, wondering what on earth went wrong. But, as we're going to see as we summarize this material, that kind of shift isn't random, not at all. It's driven by fundamental laws of human nature bubbling just under the surface.
And to get a grip on this, we really have to humble ourselves with this powerful quote. Robert Greene basically says, people are generally not what they seem because we're all wearing masks. We have to acknowledge this dark reality before we can master it. That face people show you at the office or at a party or especially on Instagram, it's highly curated. It's a mask built to project warmth and competence. And the second you accept you're dealing with crafted masks instead of raw reality, you instantly become 100 times better at observing people.
Okay, part one, decoding our irrational selves. Before we analyze anyone else, we gotta look in the mirror. The law of irrationality. Basically, the uncomfortable truth here is that we are all fundamentally irrational. And accepting that, that's step one to getting actual control. We love to think we're these perfectly logical creatures weighing the pros and cons, but actually, deep-seated emotions like fear, pride, or desire, they're the ones driving the car. Think about it. The last time you bought something wildly expensive that you totally didn't need, your emotion made that split-second decision, and then your logical brain sprinted in right after to invent a really nice, rational excuse for it. And that brings us to the massive gap between our emotional response and our rational response. Our ordinary default setting is entirely reactive. Somebody criticizes you and bam, you get defensive, angry, short-sighted. But the rational response, the one we're aiming for here, requires you to physically and mentally step back. It means observing with total detachment and keeping your eyes glued to the long-term goal. Mastering human nature means intentionally shifting yourself from that knee-jerk reaction over to that cool, calculated baseline. Moving right along to part two, the masks people wear. Now that we've checked our own irrationality, let's look outward. The law of role-playing. Everyone around you is playing a character in a massive stage play. And society actually demands this. Think about it. If we all just walked around blurting out our totally unfiltered thoughts, our dark anxieties, our raw aggression, civilization would literally collapse by Tuesday. The trick to surviving this isn't to judge it, but just to stop being so naive. Don't automatically assume that polite smile from your colleague means they're actually thrilled to see you. But the masks are heavy, and people slip. You can watch for these three micro-expressions of the true self. You can catch the real emotion leaking out. Watch for that split second where a big smile drops into a scowl before they catch themselves. Or be incredibly suspicious of someone who is way too friendly the exact second you meet them. That is almost always a massive overcompensation for a hidden agenda. And lastly, just watch their body language when the pressure gets dialed up. Their words might be calm, but their shifting feet will betray them for sure.
All right, part three, confronting the dark side. Pivoting back to the mirror for a second.
The law of the shadow. Instead of ignoring our dark side, like, most people comfortably do, we actually have to confront it. Greene draws heavily from Carl Jung here, and it's a vital part of the summary. Your shadow holds everything you were told was bad growing up. Your ambition, your anger, your selfishness. And when you repress it, it doesn't just vanish. No way. It leaks out in toxic ways. You might find yourself furiously accusing a coworker of being selfish, totally blind to the fact that you're just projecting your own deeply repressed ambition right onto them. And this is where it gets incredibly cool. The ordinary human denies the shadow, but the master channels it. It's a complete game changer. Instead of being terrified of those dark impulses, the master acknowledges them. They take that intense ambition, that raw anger, that ruthlessness, and instead of letting it turn into petty office drama, they harness that energy. They use it to build a business, create wild art, or relentlessly chase a massive goal. Let's jump to part four, recognizing toxic types. Time to put up some defenses. So imagine this scenario. You get a well-deserved promotion, or you buy a nice house, and suddenly your closest coworker just turns inexplicably cold. They avoid eye contact. They take forever to answer urgent emails. You're losing sleep trying to figure out what you did wrong. But actually, scratch that. It's not about what you did at all. It is 100% the law of envy. Your brilliant success just triggered their deep-seated insecurities. And because envy is arguably the ugliest human emotion, absolutely nobody ever admits to feeling it. Instead, they cleverly disguise it as moral superiority. They'll casually suggest your new success is making you arrogant, or they'll just create this icy distance to quietly punish you for having the audacity to shine a little too bright. So commit these 3 signs of covert envy to memory right now. Faint praise is the absolute classic. Wow, great job on the promotion, especially since you didn't have nearly as much experience as the other guys, right? It's a tiny little dagger wrapped up in a polite compliment. Also, always be on the lookout for sudden gossip behind your back, and watch out for people who seemingly try to trigger your specific anxieties just to knock you off balance. Okay, part 5, navigating group dynamics. Let's zoom out from the one-on-one. The law of conformity. We wildly underestimate how much our environment completely alters our behavior. It turns smart individuals into an irrational mob. Whenever we join a group, a corporate office, a political rally, an internet echo chamber, this massive invisible gravity takes over. Like, imagine a meeting where the boss pitches a totally terrible idea, but because he likes it, suddenly everyone is nodding in enthusiastic agreement. We have this deep evolutionary need to belong, so we subconsciously dial down our own opinions to match the exact temperature of the room. This is exactly why you have to mentally step completely outside of the group if you want to keep your strategic edge. The group mind is highly volatile. It panics, it chases trends, it gets tribal. To be an independent thinker, you've got to cultivate distance. You absolutely have to train yourself to rely on verified facts, not the comforting consensus of the crowd. You need to keep a steady emotional baseline when literally everyone else around you is completely losing their minds. Let's bring it all home. Part 6. Achieving rational mastery. Here are the 3 crucial steps to emotional detachment. This is your toolkit for the heat of the moment. When someone triggers you, do not react immediately. Step 1, pull yourself back, physically or mentally. Leave the room if you have to. Step 2, observe the emotion. Just watch the anger or anxiety like a weird bug under a microscope. Do not let it touch your keyboard, and do not let it open your mouth. And step 3, analyze the root cause objectively so you can plan a calculated, strategic response instead of a messy emotional one. And it all funnels down to the number 1. One singular goal. Because ultimately, you can't control the intricate masks other people wear. You cannot magically fix the simmering envy of your coworkers or the madness of the crowd. The incredibly powerful truth here is that the only variable you have absolutely total authority over in this crazy stage play is yourself. Green says rationality isn't something you're born with, you acquire it. And I literally love this because it is so empowering. It proves that mastering human nature is a skill anybody can build. Rationality is a muscle. You've got to go to the psychological gym. Every time you purposely pause before sending that angry email, or you spot a micro-expression of envy and adjust your strategy, you are getting your reps in. So here's my question for you to wrap up this video. Which interaction today are you going to decode using these laws? Take everything we summarized today and test it in the real world immediately, because this high-stakes game is happening all around you right now. At your next meeting or family dinner, just quietly watch. Look for the heavy masks. Look for the hidden shadows. Willfully step out of the group mind. When you apply this, the chaotic world finally starts making crystal clear sense. So next time someone hands you a beautifully disguised, backhanded compliment, just ask yourself, are you being played by human nature, or are you mastering it?